4th February 2025, we are going to discuss editorials from Business Standard and The Hindu. Without much delay, we start our discussion from first article. This is related to artificial intelligence. Recently, DeepSeek, one company like ChatGPT that is there in United States of America. This is from China. DeepSeek is from China. They made huge progress in the artificial intelligence. Basically, generative transformer content. So this article has been written in this slide. So we will analyze this article in detail. There was a huge reaction when Chinese company DeepSeek, they assumed, they brought this DeepSeek AI chatbot. So this also raised a lot of concern in United States of America. But one thing they misassumed mistakenly is that China has a huge lead in the artificial intelligence development, and they also forget the key ways it could drive demand for artificial intelligence hardware. If you see this DeepSeek model, this was recently launched on end of the January 2025. This offered various tools. There are chatbot competitives that with US there is a chatbot. This is competitive with the United States. There is a chat GPT model we call. That model is O1. They use this open artificial intelligence network. If you see this DeepSeek model, they offered major advances because it uses hardware, including even lesser chips than the other model. In any mobile, you see there will be chips. Those are all called integrated chips. Those chips will handle and calculate and memorize everything. It will do everything. You may say it is kind of calculator, but very advanced mode. Even it improves learning efficiency, and it will become kind of very cheap to operate, and even cheaper to create also. That's how DeepSeek came into being. The announcement by DeepSeek, this dominated international media cycle. United States of America, this had become a major blown issue because commentators, they frequently suggested arrival of this DeepSeek, this will dramatically cut out demand for artificial intelligence chips. But author says when DeepSeek brought this chatbot, they have missed 4 ways. Basically, they are missing 4 innovative ways that could actually expand demand for artificial intelligence hardware. Why hardware is required? Whenever you want to do calculation, whenever you want to store some data, some medium should be there. That is how hardware comes into picture. So whatever your GPU, graphical processor units, or TPU, right, tensor flow unit, these are all called like hardwares. So these hardwares, they calculate, they store the data. That's how they come into being. So by cutting resources that are needed to train model, more companies, they can create their own model rather than depending upon premium chip or premium hardwares being offered by major companies. What are all major companies? Till now, ChatGPT was there. Now DeepSeek has come into being. Even you have Google's Gemini. There are many such models are coming. So what happens? The big tech companies, they could combine more efficient training with whatever the large resources they have. Even they can improve their performance on their own. So there will be no dependence on DeepSeek for their hardware. Researchers, they will also able to expand number of experiments they can do without needing more resources also. OpenAI, even other leading model providers, they can expand their range of models. They can switch from their generic model. Basically generic model means jack of all trade. That means like that we have now. ChatGPT is jack of all trade. That means you press anything, you will get all this. Now they will move to different kind of model. So for doing some calculation, they will have that kind of model. For doing some financial data, they will have that kind of model. So there will be further disintegration. Even researchers around the world, they have been exploring ways in order to improve performance of artificial intelligence model. Innovation in core ideas, they are being widely published. They allow researchers to build each other's work and then they can work on their own also. Now DeepSeek, it has brought together and even extended range of ideas with key advances in the hardware and the way we need to learn and how the learning process works. DeepSeek, they use hardware and it is very efficiently. When training these large models, what happens? You will put a lot of computers under working, and then the communication between them is very important, and it will become bottleneck. Even if one system is failing or not working, then it will affect entirely. Then computer, all of them will sit idle. It wastes time, even it wastes whatever amount you have invested also. But DeepSeek avoided all these things. They developed new ways in order to do the calculation, even communications. At the same time, it avoided that kind of downtime that happens basically with the computers. DeepSeek also brought innovation to how learning works. All large language models, we'll call LLM, they have kind of three phases of learning. First you provide the lot of data, or you feed a lot of data. This large language model, they learn from the text. They predict what could be next word. Suppose say I want to go, then next word would be Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi. So it will predict basically. It will be keep on updating. So it will correct the mistakes. Like it will learn much smaller specific set of examples. It enables these large language model in order to communicate with users conversationally. Finally, large language models, they learn by generating output. The output may be that is kind of opinionistic. So though it may be judged, but it can be adjusted with related to response. In the last phase, there is a single correct answer in each step of learning. Instead, this model, this learns that output is better or worse. You can choose any another. Now DeepSeek method, this compares large set of outputs in the last phase of learning. This is very effective enough to allow second and third stages in order to shatter these results. So DeepSeek, what they did is they just keep on updating itself. So the model becomes more and more better, and it will provide all you the data. So it can improve efficiency also. This is about DeepSeek. There are certain issues, but we need to have and we should have the competition. Why? If ChatGPT is there, they will charge high amount, high premium, then there will be monopoly can be established. So these things will not work out in the longer run. So if competition comes, then everyone will be benefited. This is the article about. We'll move on to next article. Next article is about insurance sector and foreign direct investment. Recently, budget was presented by Finance Minister of India on 1st February 2025. The main thing about budget this year, particularly insurance sector, is about foreign direct investment. Now, budget has proposed to put a direct limit of 100% of FDI in insurance sector. So what will happen when you put 100% FDI in insurance sector? So anyone can participate. From outside also, people can participate. All those insurers who do insurance activity from foreign countries, they can participate in India, and then most of the people will be benefited. Presently, if you see insurance market in India, it is largely underpenetrated. What is happening is now if you go to villages, most of the people they don't have insurance unless the insurance is provided by government. Suppose say you go to now India, we have arogya Pradhan Mantri Arogya Yojana, wherein 5 crore families have been covered under the scheme. 5 lakh will be the limit wherein you will get health benefits. But when it comes to several things, like there is a insurance on life, insurance on non-life sectors, so these areas not being covered, and then it is largely underpenetrated sector in Indian scenario. So what happens when 100% FDI is opened? Those insurers will come, then most of the people will be covered under insurance. Then whatever hefty premium you are paying through insurance, this will also come down. There will be huge competition. Then this will help, and it will help foreign companies to directly set up and work in Indian scenario. Priorly, they should have some Indian partner in order to work in the country. But now foreign company, they can set up their own company. They can set up their own company. They can work according to Indian scenario. That's how. But most of the experts, they say, whoever in the field of insurance, they say Indian scenario is different. If you go worldwide, people are mostly insured. But when it comes to India, it life insurance sector is okay. Non-life insurance sector, this is largely underrepresented. The same thing they are again telling. This thing is largely underrepresented, underdetermined. This has been told by many things, even many people also. If you see this graph there, FDI in insurance sector for financial year till 2000 to 2014, there was a limit of 26%. At that time, amount generated was around 20,858 crores. From financial year 2014 to 2021, the limit has been put up by 49%. It has brought 34,000 crores. From financial year 2021 onwards, now limit has been put up 74%. It attracted 27,379 crores. Now, if you put more of the people will come. But if you see in India, very few companies are there. Right? There are 26 life insurance in India. They have 20 of them have partners. Those partners have huge holding 74%, 49%, even 74% also. In the non-life sector, if you say, there are 25 general and health insurers, and among 25 general health insurers, there are 49% stake is there and 13 foreign partners are there. So you can understand all these things. So this is the article about insurance sector, how it will impact opening of 100% FDI. Next article, we will discuss about nuclear energy. We have several nuclear plants in India, but recently in the successive budgets, this small modular reactor concept has become very famous. What do you mean by small modular reactor? Why this term has been specifically mentioned, and what are all the advantages, disadvantages of small modular reactor? These things have been discussed in detail in this article. So we'll discuss this article in detail. This budget, even last budget also, it has talked more about small modular reactors. What do you mean by small modular reactors? They are kind of small nuclear power plants with capacity less than 300 megawatt. Even there are countries who are partnering with private sector in order to put a lot of emphasis on research and development. Now, current prototype to build this small modular reactor, this is about almost 100 gigawatt of energy. Indian budget also proposal to build small modular reactors of 100 gigawatt by 2047. Even 5 small modular reactors are being ready and it can be operational by 2033. These are all the ambitious targets. These are kind of bold steps because but the actionable strategies under the ground are very low, because if you see small modular reactor, and this is kind of nuclear power plant, this is still under developmental stage, and then its long term economic viability, this is kind of remains unproven because it is still under development stage. There are a lot of research and development is happening. If you see private sector small modular reactors, this seems the world is heading towards them. Even it is recommended by Niti Aayog, Department of Atomic Energy in 2023. In United States, if you see small modular reactor, they are seen as a hypothetical solutions for all energy demand that is driven by artificial intelligence. Now everywhere, first article we discussed about DeepSeek. So there we talked about artificial intelligence and its importance. It consumes a lot of energy. Where do you get energy from? So then small modular reactors will become a huge point. Even in order to reduce carbon emission also, this is a good point. There are several countries that are still being in deployment stage or planning stage of these small modular reactors, such as United States of America, Canada, Argentina, China, South Korea. Even International Atomic Energy Agency, they said more than 80 countries they design small modular reactors. They are under developmental stage. Some of the most enthusiastic nuclear energy small modular reactors, private sector, they are sitting in Silicon Valley. They are artificial intelligence tech giants. They are working in this sector so that they can save energy. If you see India's nuclear energy generation, it is almost about 8.18 gigawatt. It is not that huge because why it is not huge? There are several barriers have been imposed on India by United States of America. Why? When you use nuclear energy, that nuclear energy could be used for non-peaceful purposes also in order to create nuclear bomb. So these kind of deterrence uses made US put sanctions on usage of nuclear power plants. But the main thing now world is shifting towards technologically and growing towards more technical related areas. There are several technologies have been emerging: artificial intelligence, cryptocurrencies, blockchain technology, even big data analysis. All these things put a lot of emphasis on small modular reactor entrepreneur in order to enter the market. So India may not find difficulty to get small modular reactors, that is 5 in number, that is to be up and running by 2033. Whether they can be built indigenously or they can be licensed from technology partners, that is to be seen. Even to get private sector, government is planning to amend Atomic Energy Act, even Civil Liability of Nuclear Damage Act also, in order to make easier for everyone concerned about procurement of technology and even operationalization of small modular reactors without too many regulatory hiccups. The current generation of small modular reactors, they are much safer, more efficient than older large scale nuclear plants because these nuclear plants we have seen several times in headlines because of the accidents. 3 Mile Island incident, Chernobyl disaster, even Fukushima in Japan. These are all the key events that nuclear energy falling out of favor. So people are not preferring. Apart from the accident, there are high cost of building, even maintaining these nuclear power plants. There are even challenges in order to deal with nuclear waste. Nuclear energy generates radiation that is very harmful to the body. So these are all the challenges that are remain. The small modular reactors, it seems okay because from design compact size of point of view, even those small modular reactors being installed in very remote areas, but damages or accidents are inherent. We need to follow standard operating procedure. We need to take industrial safety at huge level. One important thing we need to focus more is on nuclear waste. How we need to solve this thing. This is the biggest thing. Finally, there is always risk with some enriched nuclear fuels that could be diverted for these non-peaceful purposes. Therefore, we need to put strict safeguards in order to monitor and regulations that has to be kept so that strict monitoring and strict regulations can prevent non-peaceful use of nuclear energy. These small modular reactors, it has technology and design that is rapidly evolving, and it is a viable options in future case also. It will help in decarbonizing the world. It will help indirectly in climate change impact. And then it is good policy also. What is needed to be seen is that Indian policymakers, Indian lawmakers, they need to understand the things in detailed manner. They should work with bureaucrats and bring possible changes on the ground, so that closely monitoring small modular reactors developments around the world wide, even India can make huge swift decisions in information and advancement in this field. So this is the article about nuclear focus. We discussed three articles today. First article is about deepfake. Second, DeepSeek. Second article is about insurance sector. Third article is about small modular reactors that has been discussed several times in budget. So thank you very much for discussion.